Welcome back to deepest, darkest Northumberland on the cod hunt. I'm currently on the beach. I have been fishing over on the rocks, and this is a bit of a sort of back to front video. So what you're going to see now was a week ago when I was down in Cornwall. The highlights from there, a bit of footage into the place we fished, the journey we had and the laughs we had along the way. So I'll take you back to that. Then what I'll do is we'll jump onto the rocks which I've just been fishing for the last 3 hours or so at a mark in Northumberland on the cod hunt, and then we'll come back to the present time, which is now. So thanks for joining me again. I hope you enjoy the video. Stick around. This will be probably a longer video than usual, I guess, because there's a lot more footage to put in. So if you want a longer one, you're going to enjoy it. If not, skip through if you want. But there's some really interesting talks involved in this video about future plans, etc. If you're not interested in that, fire through the fish. Do what you please, as long as you enjoy the channel the way you want to enjoy it. At the end of the day, I'm putting these out for you to explore whatever parts you want to explore. So thanks for joining us here at Sparta Fishing. Let's get to Cornwall.
Hey, yeah.
Daz loves dogs.
Hey, yeah.
Huh? Oh, do you? Oh, the key's in the box.
Oh, what the? That was one.
I always put them in here so in case I fall out the pot. I'll just go on the side door. Hold on. Yeah, that's it. I'm here in Cornwall with my good friends Daz and Gaz, and we're fishing a beautiful estuary, big inlet. It's got some deep ledges, deep gullies. We've got some belting fresh ragworm. We've got some frozen peeler, frozen razor, frozen mackerel, and some mussel, I believe, between us. We're going to try and fish this river and catch big and small. We're not bothered, we just want to do a nice bit of fishing. Gary, my friend, is really struggling with sciatica, and I'm going to pan round. There he is, he's having a bit of a rest. Bless him. He is done in off that walk, but he's been a little soldier and he's trying his best to keep everyone happy and keep the fishing trip alive. But he is in pain, so well done to Gary for making this effort. He wasn't going to come, to be honest, but I said I can't just do a week with Darren by himself. So I said, Gary, please come, and he did. I thought Darren's over there, fishing over there, but he's hooked into some weed. So enough waffling anyway. The rods I'm going to be using, I'll talk you through them, and the reels, the setups, the bait, how I'm going to chuck it out, what I'm looking for, how we're going to fish it, the tides, etc. We'll talk all about that throughout the video. So, but for now, thanks very much for joining us on this finale episode of travelling. You know, summer travelling, at least that's the end of it. This is the last major trip of the year. We've done Cornwall a few times, we've been to Devon, we've been to Kent, been to the Isle of Skye, we've been up the west coast to Scotland, been down to Kent, Wales, Anglesey. Done quite a few this year, but this is the last one. So hopefully it's a good one. I'll tell you what the targets are and everything as we go out throughout the video. So thanks very much for tuning in. Stay tuned for hopefully some nice fish. So the rig I'm using is a pulley pennel. Now I'm going to vary up the baits throughout the day. Can you get conger here? I don't know. I'm assuming there'll be bass knocking about, wrasse. I don't know. But just one of them things where we're just going to really try and enjoy it for what it is, and a bit of an adventure, a bit of a surprise maybe. So I'll show you the setup I've got for this. A 6-ounce grip lead with a weight clip with a shoulder on it to hook the hook over for casting, which I'll show you in a second. That's tied on a 75-pound mono bead, limitless power swivel, which goes to the main line, another bead. That goes up to another limitless power swivel. Then I've got my hook length, which is 100-pound, down to an octopus beak hook limitless and I think it's an XT 4.0, again limitless hooks, which I'm starting to use for this season. I've got a little bit of tubey grip on there, which means I can slide that up and down to marry up with the size of bait I want. Sharp then. Right, okay, so I'm going to bait this up just with a bit of frozen peeler. What I do is I just put it over the top there and I just turn it over, turn the hook up, sort of push the bait onto the hook so it's like that. There's no need to pierce it. You can if you want, but I don't bother. It's going on with elastic anyway. And just wrap it around quite a few times. Once I get so far, I put my finger on, I start going the other way, just to lock it off, if you like. And then I go around the bottom of the hook like 20 times, just as a bit of security, and there we'll have a good looking bait. Now that hook I was telling you moves, obviously I can have a big bait on, or if I want a smaller one, I just slide it down and to the right sort of correct length and just hook it back through the other way. So I've got a perfect looking bait, nicely strapped up, a couple of nice sharp hooks going slightly different directions. Now, as I was showing you before, that bead swivel, sorry, the power swivel, that hooks up to my main line. So this then, if I get a fish, I'll just stand back and show you. If I get a fish on this, this will pull the weight to the top. Now all I'm pulling in first is that weight, so it's off the deck, and the fish is all the way down here. Because the weight of the fish, well, I hope it's heavier than the lead. When I'm casting out, obviously that power swivel is attached to my main line. That bait there, 2 seconds, just get myself a bit of a tangle. I'll show you how it lines up. I was telling you before, that big hook engages into there, and obviously there's tension on this because it's going to the main line, and then you have perfect bait for casting out. Right, we'll get this clipped on and get it sent out before I get the other rods. Before I get the second rod out, I'll talk you through this rod. So the big rod I'm using with the bait I've just showed you is the limitless AS 4,500 XT. I think the XT stands for extra tough. It wouldn't surprise us if it did anyway. Don't quote us on that. Have a look on the website. I'll put the link in below for this rod. It's 14 foot 10. It's got some power. It helps us with me casting. It's paired up with the Shimano Ultegra XSC 14,000. Now I'm just going to chuck this slightly up tide and see what's about over there. Might realign where I'm pointing. Right, there we go. That's spot on. That's not very deep. I've cast into the wrong area there. This happens sometimes. It's just not very deep at all. So I'll quickly wind it in. I didn't really get a good cast out there, to be honest. I was more bothered about the rod rest that's behind us than anything else. Let's restart. These things happen. Pointless cutting it out. Makes us look as if I don't make mistakes, and I do. Right, see how we go. That's better. That's more in the middle of the river. Estuary. Plain rig, plain setup. So I've got the weight and the clip. That's just to put the hook under to protect the bait, which I'll show you again. A length of 40 pound mono up to a bead, a two-way swivel, another two-way swivel, down to my hook with a pop-up floating sort of bead. Helps keep the worm up in the air. So I'm going to put some ragworm on this one. I'm trying to think of the name of this rig, I can't remember. Some lovely fresh ragworm. Just feed that up the line. Yeah, the juice is flowing. And I can use that as a stop knot as well as a pop-up. Got these worms fresh off a local digger in Redruth called Dave. So thanks Dave, the worms are absolutely tremendous. There we go. And this will clip into the bottom of that weight which I showed you, and I'm snagged already. And it just protects it for casting. Just flick that up, hang that on there like that, and then you have again fully protected for casting. Save the worm flying off. There we go. So we'll get this one chucked out on the next rod. Right, okay. This rod is the Limitless Match Light, which is 12 foot, 125 to 175 grams. Which is a good mixed ground rod, beaches, perfect for like estuaries like this. It's nice and strong enough, so if I get into a snag, I can get out of it without doubling the rod over. So I'm just going to flick this one out into the middle, and it's paired up. Oh, cast, unbelievable that thing. It's paired up with this Achios Spyro GT 5000. I've got 30 pound braid straight through. On the other one I've got the usual 65 pound Limitless braid. So between the two rods I've got a variation. The twins, the Limitless twins. More Limitless today with a Shimano reel and Achios reel. Let's see how it goes. Let's hope for some fish. Got a good feeling. It's bang on low water. The tide should cover this area. Well, it will. So we're sort of planning it. It's always good to have an escape route because the backdrop's a bit hilly, cliffy. It's no problem. We've got plenty of time to think about it. It isn't the sort of place you're going to get big rolling waves that catch you out. It's a lovely scenic place. I'm hoping there's some bass about. And just a few little fish would do. The bonny day, it's nice, it's overcast. I like it overcast. I don't like standing in the sunshine all day. Not it's blazing down, burning you. And also for bass, really, do they go hiding in the sunshine, out the way of the sunshine? Yes, I think they do. I think you always stand a better chance in a overcast day. Obviously, night time's best, but we might have a night session here if it produces through the day. This is day 2 now. We got here yesterday. I went fishing last night on the lures for bass. Did get one. Taking the camera equipment is not really for bass fishing at night. It's a nightmare. So sorry I can't bring any footage from that. It's just not something I can do, you know. It's really difficult. I could put the head cam on, but I've got I've got my head torch on, so I can't do that. I can put a chest cam on, but all you're going to see is movement, and it'll just not make for good viewing, so I didn't bother. Hopefully I can get your video done today though. Come hella high water, if I blank I'll still post it for you so you can have a look at this beautiful place and take in some stunning scenery. First blood to Darren by the look of it, and I tell you what,
Doggy,
it's probably a doggy, aye.
Oh well.
Hey ho, hey, you're off the mark anyway.
Aye. You did. You knew, didn't you? Didn't show them me rakes, man. Secret weapon for the open.
Well done. Well, this is pretty tough at the minute. I've had a few small nibbles, but nothing. Hoping it's going to pick up, of course. But the area we're fishing is absolutely beautiful. I can't get up. I was round there earlier when I first set up, but obviously the tide's rushing now. I'm sort of in this little cove, which is beautiful. I'm just having to sit at the back and cast the gear out this direction only. Straight. I went down to one rod each because there's only probably about, well, I don't know, 20 yards from sort of shore to shore from here. So I'm down to one rod. I've stuck with a ragworm rather than the bigger baits. Hopefully the fish will turn on as the tide progresses. Just the one dogfish for Daz. What other fish, I don't know. Well, I've got a couple other marks in mind. This was like a guess job, this. I Google Earthed it and thought, oh, that looks good. Water depth's pretty nice. It's halfway up the estuary. I would have thought it would have made for good fishing. It probably does. But when is another question. With the action stations. Let him fish, man. Lift into it, Devon, lift into it. Lift into it, Gary, lift into it, Devon. He's poised. Hopefully it's something other than a dogfish, but I'm sure Gary will be over the moon to any fish, eh? Tell us how you're feeling, Gary.
Oh, you know, I'm like a dog with two willies. The real fish on the rock. Eh? The real fish on the rock. Keep an eye on it.
Looks like a doggy.
Yeah, you know what it is?
But it's a fish.
It's like a trip down nostalgia lane. Down memory lane. So long since I've had one of these. Put on the backboard.
He's happy enough, aren't you?
I mean, no fish is a fish for me. There you go. We'll go away. Come on, son.
There's a look at him. A little pause. We are. Now to a bother. Keep an eye on that rod. As soon as I put the camera on, it stops. The rod was absolutely bouncing just a second ago. First knot I've had in ages.
You want to check that hook point? Dodgy without wrong with them rigs. it's still there. Yeah.
There's a bit of movement. I'll have a check. Come on, come back. I'm going to try and land this one. I've got no to lose this time. Oh, I'm in the plug. Oh, I'm in the plug, aye. That's in the plug. I don't know, I can't tell, but...
I didn't pull.
Feels like weed rather than a fish, to be honest. It's not nothing fighting. Like biting weed, so I've got. Probably either that or a doggy line on. No, no. It's staying too deep. If it was a doggy, it's just weed. It can only be weed. Alright, be a doggy. It is, aye.
Just went there. Keep an arm on the ball.
Well, it's a fish anyway. It's a doggy that's in amongst the reeds. Get him unhooked and then I'll give you a look at him. Come on, son. That's all. He smells like aftershave. Must be candles. Must be on his way out. What's that? It smells like bloody Kouros or something. Must be gone to the club. There we go. Old doggy. Oh, well, I haven't blanked. Not the fish I wanted, but hey ho, it's a fish. Really slow, really slow. But we're having fun and we're in a very secluded spot, which is nice, it's tranquil. Tide's pushed her right back. There's Gary there. Just waiting to play a shot into the fourth green. Doesn't have to take an 8 or a 9 iron. It's lovely. The place is alive with these little beasties jumping about. Maybe you know the name of them. They're just jumpy little lice, maybe, probably. But I'm hoping they're not going up my trouser leg into the old family jewel department. Try to keep them mid-bay, but there's millions and trillions of them. So we're going to give it a little while longer over high water, and I can't say we're getting a bass. I would have had one by now, I think, if we were going to get one. I think it's only the odd doggy, but we've had fun and it's the first full day of fishing, if you like. Plenty to look forward to tomorrow and the day after. So I'll bring you back, hopefully with one more fish. I would like one more fish. Well, a decent bite there. But again, it's vanished. One hit wonder maybe. Well, I tell you what, I hope this is all fish, because it's a decent one if it is. Sure, there's a fish on there. got to be a fish, but I'm just hoping it's all fish. I thought that was a ray there for a second. I didn't know what it is. I think it's just a doggy. But oh, it's covered in weed, and I've hooked it in the side.
I bet you felt 3 times as big, didn't it?
Wow, I did. It felt a good size, that. Ah, it's fine, it's fine. Hands off. I just can't get near the water's edge. That's it. Hey, another doggy. Weather's turned a bit. And the lads are getting heavily weeded up, so this might be an early bath. We'll see what they want to do. I'm not going to suggest packing up, but if they decide they want to, then that's what we'll do. Big day tomorrow. I guess this is probably over and out for today. See if we can get Gary with this one. Gary! Who sings that song? Tiger Feet?
Mud.
That's right. Ta-da! Hello. It's better. Right, good morning. We are back out fishing again. We are still in Cornwall. Now I travelled to a mark which I found myself a couple of years ago. Let's try and get you level on that camera. I'm with Daz and Gaz. We're down on the Cornish coast. We've been here a good few days now, but the weather has played havoc with us. Sideways rain, horrible conditions to fish in. Darren's into his first fish. Target achieved, wrasse. He was after wrasse, so is Gary. One of the reasons I've chosen this mark today to bring Gary and Daz is because Gary is very keen to get a nice big wrasse. And the last time I was here, I caught a couple of decent ones. This is a mark I found, explored myself, no help from anybody. I just got out the car, I flew the drone about, I looked on Google Earth and I found a way down, because this is quite a way down a cliff. So it's not the easiest of marks to get to, but it's manageable if you're careful. So that's Daz, that's Gary, and today we are going to target any sort of fish. We're going to be bait fishing, lure fishing. I've got rotten bottoms on. I know the ground is a little bit rough in places, but it's really deep, so hopefully I should be able to get enough lift to get it out of any sort of danger zones. I've got a two hook. I've got a pennel with a limitless octopus beak hook and a J hook on the bottom, which is limitless XT. I've got 120 pound hook length, because I know there are bull husks here. Slightly weaker weight length, which is about 75 pound, and a 25 pound weak link. So I'm going to get baited up. I'm going to put some fish baits out to start with. Let's see what we can get. Thanks very much for joining us again. I'm sure there'll be plenty of fish to show you today. Right, here we go. Nice lump of squid. I've got you in the best position camera wise, safest, highest up, etc. So that weak link at the bottom, it's got like a little weight clip on there, so spin that. That means the line bunches up. Watch, I'll show you, and then hook that onto there. So that weight comes off when it hits the deck. But you see that line, the way it's bunched up there, it means it doesn't interfere with the rest of the trace. There we go. Squid bait, let's see what's out there, eh? First chuck. The rod I'm using is the Limitless AS 4500 XT. It's 14'10". It's a real powerhouse of a rod. It's great for needing lift, obviously 14'10". Paired up with Shimano Ultegra 14,000 XSC with 60-pound Limitless braid straight through. No need for leader. Right, so Gary has never caught a wrasse before, and he said at the start of holder his target was a wrasse. So there you go, and do you want to hold that up, guys?
It's only a baby one.
Just a little one, but
Start off small, finish off big.
We'll hopefully get him a
like
bigger one, but happy days. We've been here 20 minutes and he's achieved his target, so I'm buzzing for him. Get in. This is first ever huss for Daz, so he's over the moon. Nice one. This is our last summer trip, if you like. I know it's autumn now and it's closing in winter where I live in the northeast. But it was one last trip down to Cornwall with Gaz and Daz. I had planned on doing more bass fishing, but it's just one of them things where it's never happened. We had a few casts and all that. We fished the estuary, as you've seen in the previous clips. Just dogfish. Gary's got really bad sciatica at the minute, so it certainly hasn't limited us, but I've had to be a bit more considerate of the marks that I wanted to bring them to. This was one on the top of the list because Gary wanted a wrasse, so I knew he'd get one here. You'll get more. I knew there's bullhuss here. There's got to be bass knocking around, although they are proven quite elusive, difficult. But we just wanted to get some fishing done the day. It's been the only day where the sun has shown its face. It has been grey, dank, just horrible. But the temperature's been constantly like in the teens. So it's been like that muggy warm. And I absolutely hate wearing waders to start with. You end up sweating up. I know there's probably, if you can suggest some good waders actually that don't sweat up, I doubt there's any. There might be some better than others, but just end up damp inside, and it's just an awful feeling. It's just not the type of fishing I enjoy. When I go bass fishing on the lures, I generally just put an old pair of trainers on with spikes and some shorts with a sort of inner lining, and I just plodge. That's a northern word, by the way, plodge, if you're watching down south. What's the word for down here? Skinny dip? No. What's another word for plodging?
What?
Plodging, that southerners might understand.
Plodging?
Paddling.
Paddling?
Paddling, plodging, anyway, we call it where you're going up to your sort of thigh in the water, fishing or playing. So this is the sort of mark that was a banker for us, and it's the last day. We're going home tomorrow. We got here on Monday and we thoroughly enjoyed it, playing pool, having a few beers, went into the club, there was bingo on. Fortunately the karaoke had finished, so that saved us having to listen to Darren do sort of Right Side Fred or something. But it's been a good week. I'm tired, really tired. So I wanted to fish during the day up to high water, which is just after tea time. It gets dark at about 7:15. We want to be off the rocks by then, and it takes 2 hours to get back down to Lizard where we've been staying. So we've travelled a bit to get to this mark because it was a banker, if you like. And then we've got a long drive home tomorrow, which is like 9 hours, 9.5 maybe. Probably 10 by the time we've done a couple of stops. 10-hour journey home. And after the day, hopefully it'll have been worth it. It has been worth it regardless anyway. We've had, you know, a good bit crack on that. Been really enjoyable. Had some laughs, had some beers, played some pool, played some bingo, and aye, it's been good. So thanks for sticking around. Hopefully I can bring you a good video today. I didn't get this, I'm devastated I didn't get this on camera. Didn't even see a bite, lifted into it, still nothing, thought, oh, I've got a big clump of weed here. And I've managed to get my first ever conger. Get in. First ever for me. I've never, well, I have targeted them once before when I was down here, but to no joy, I never really stuck to the task. But I'm buzzing with that. That is my first ever. Sorry, my handling's not going to be magic, but I've got some forceps. I'll see if I can get that hook out. But I'm buzzing with that. Get in. Yes. Here's the plan. We are going to move Mark. I think this might be a low water mark, it's just died to death. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to go up the top, have a walk along. I'm going to get the car, leave the gear at the bottom, meet the lads, and then fish more towards the inlet. So here's Gary. I think Gary's into his first ever bull huss. I was just in the camera how it's died. That's a really nice one, that. Well in, mate. Cracking. Hey, first one, is it, Gary?
Aye, first one house. Just in the corner. No, it's a bit
He'll get that off. Aye, so that's that then. I'll get packed up and I'll see you at the other mark. Right, okay. So we are now on the mark. We've waded across a little gully, nothing major, which I was pleased about. I've never been here and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I hope this isn't too deep. What I'll do is, I'm going to get casted out. I'll show you the bait, give us a second. You come in, Craig? There's my bait, all ready to go out, and we'll get out in the water. It's my friend Craig. Oh, it's camera shy. From the Burnside Cod Ticklers, one of the merry men. So, all right. Thanks for enjoying us. Thanks for enjoying us. Thanks for inviting us, mate. Much appreciated. It's nice to get invited places. And like I say, we are on one of their favourite marks, so I'm not going to say, oh, this is where I am. So please just respect that for what it is, you know what I mean? They come fishing every weekend in a few different places, and this is one of the marks. So they don't want it like Blackpool if I end up putting a nice big cod on YouTube and it'd be all lit up next week and they kind of get on their mark. So I will get casted out, get this crab and blacks chucked out. I've got a pulley pennel with a Gemini splash down a 6 ounce lead. I could probably chuck a nice 4 ounce lead there out at the minute with a lighter rod, but I've got the bigger rod. I've got the reel I've got on is a Shimano Ultegra 14,000 XSC paired up with a Limitless AS 4,500 XT, which is 14 foot 10. So I've got plenty ammo if I do get that big one. So wish us luck, and I'm going to get casted out. Right. Bombs over. There we go, and thankfully Craig brought a spare head torch. I put mine on charge because I've had a busy week using it, and I put it on the kitchen bench. It's the only thing I forgot to pick up. So thank God I've got a little spare one. I'll show you it. Emergency one I keep in the car with a AA battery in. So all wasn't lost, but this one's better. So thanks to Craig for bringing their spares, bailing us out. Right, I'm going to bait up a trace. It's not often I should do more on the camera of baiting up, because people often do ask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that for you now and show you how I bait up. Right, there was 1 second. I'll get a new trace out somewhere in this magic box. Trace is made up already. There we go. It's always good to have traces ready made. Thanks to my mate Darren, actually made us some traces for when we went down to Cornwall, and he just said, "Oh, I'll keep them." So cheers, Daz, top man. And you're always guaranteed a good trace off me mate. He's a cracking rig maker. I can always trust them. Right, okay. There's my trace at the ready. Right, I've got some frozen blacks here which I just wrapped in tissue, and they were going to be fresh ones a while ago, but I didn't get to use them, so I just put them in the freezer. They're absolutely fine like that. There we go. Doesn't matter if you get a bit of tissue paper on, it'll just wash off in the tide. Some frozen peelers. They're in twos actually. They're just defrosting now. I don't like them fully defrosted. I like to put them on the hook. Slightly still frozen. There we go. It should just come away. Yeah, there's two nice peelers there. Lovely jubbly. And this here is my baiting tool. I need to get my elastic out. I think it's in here. Yeah, it is. Okay. So two peelers and some blacks, which were fresh at one time. That one's a bit hard. That's no good. These are good. Right. Okay. So I just simply feed that up there on one of the prongs. That one on the other prong, just so they're lined up like that. It doesn't really matter which way you put them on the prong. I've lost the elastic now. Oh, there it is. Just simply grab it and start winding that on. Because there's two together, I go slightly across at an angle just to keep them together, stop them coming apart. A few turns, and then I stick a black on there. Any sort of worm, whatever you've got. If you want to do it this way, you can. Just put it on the top there and start elasticating it. Now the bait prongs keep it nice and straight, stops it going bonky like a banana. And I keep my thumb on it and go the other way. Or my finger on it, sorry, not my thumb. again, and then just stops it all coming undone. Right, that's nearly done. Now get the trace, get a J hook, and just hook it in the top there, near the bottom, just so it comes out like that. So the hook's running flush with the bait, the line going up the bait, and get that hook firmly attached. Get it round, and then when I'm nearly done, I do the bottom of the hook like a good few times. It's almost like a knot. And I just snap it off. And there we go. It's a perfect looking bait. Pull them prongs out like that, and a nice big juicy bait. Now the pennel hook is at the top. The pennel hook is an octopus hook from Limitless, and the J hook is an XT Limitless. Just wrap the line round a couple of times, hook to the top of the bait and pull tight, and there we'll have it. I've got one hook facing a slightly different direction to the bottom hook. There you go. Right, we're going to get this new bait out. I've moved forward, much better vantage point. You just got to keep moving down with the tide. Got an awful tangle in my trace. Come on, get off. The joys of fishing, eh? Always tangles to contend with. Exact same rig. Rotten bottom. Hopefully this one will produce. Get it clipped up. I think Craig's obviously watching us, having to hump the camera gear on the tripod and everything. I think he's, by the way he was looking, I think he's thinking, aye, no one know how you feel, mate. Because I've got to carry the box, carry the rod stand, then the rod down and go back for the tripod and my big light. Just to try and get you the video. But I enjoy it, I do, I enjoy it. And I love creating the memory of making a video, to be honest. It's not just about, I mean, there's no living to be made on YouTube, not when you've got a channel my size, just a nice small channel. But one of the reasons I do it is because nobody lasts forever, do they? And I've got 5 kids. And one day they'll have grandchildren. Maybe they will. And I tell you what, I would love to watch a video of my granddads, you know what I mean? And their dads or whatever, you know what I mean? And hopefully all these videos I create are a good memory. So when I'm not here, they can say, hey, do you want to watch your granddad on a blanking session? So that is one of the reasons, one of the many reasons I do it. Obviously I love fishing and I like documenting the amount of fish that I've caught over the years. Me and my cousin Simon went fishing. We used to fish Camas Pier for years and years and years. Every Friday or Saturday night, every weekend without fail, just ragworm. And we caught some cracking fish over the years. But we didn't have the technology we've got now with cameras, phones, etc. You know, we were fishing there mid-90s, catching really good fish week in, week out. And I wish I just had a memory of that, just to, you know, even a photo, but we've got nothing other than up here. So this creates a great memory. And it's great if I can get people involved, because they can savour it, you know. So it's all good. Love doing it, and thanks for the support. And if you want to support it a bit, you can what you call buy us a coffee. I'll put the link in the video description, and there's a QR code on the screen. If you want to buy us a coffee, it just helps a little bit towards bait, a bit towards fuel, whatever, even a coffee, you know, or a beer. You know, I like a beer when I'm away, just a couple. So and thanks to the people that sent us a coffee last week. I'm just going to make sure I get the names right. I can check on my phone here. Thanks to Stevie G from Cramlington, Martin Dodds, Don Lynham. So thanks very much for buying me a coffee on the last video. Really, really much appreciated. But I'm going back to what I preach. So you might have seen my videos last year where I went back to using the rigs that I tried and tested that I used like 25, 30 years ago, and I went to pulley pennels. And I don't know, I like the concept, I like the principle, and obviously the work. You know, there's other people who've caught many a fish using pulley pennels. But my simple old rig is a 3-way swivel, like so, there, with what is really it's the same as a rotten bottom. It's like 35 pound mono, just a short length, and then I've got my 75 pound hook length to me bait. Now, yes, it's not as protected casting out, but do I really need that? I'm not blamming it out. I just simply hook the hook onto one of the legs like that, and I just cast it out, and it just falls off when it hits the water or in the air, whatever. Just keeps it together a little bit when you're sort of winding up. But this is my favourite rig. I went out fishing with my pal Judd last year, who catches a lot of cod, and he's of the same sort of opinion as me. He said, Stevie, why don't you just go back to it, you know? He says, it's tried and tested. And I thought, you know what, he's right. So last year I swapped the rigs and I ended up hooking up a lot more fish by using these. So although I'm contradicting myself because I've got a pulley pennel out there, I've just sort of kicked my brain back into gear for this season. I've thought, do you know what, I need to go back to what I was catching fish on this time last year. So there it is, we're going back to the 3-way swivel. It's simple, 3-way swivel, a short hook length with what acts as a rotten bottom, 75 pound mono, a J hook, and a circle hook at the top. That's actually a J hook at the top. It's supposed to be a circle, but it's a J hook. But we'll get away with it for tonight. I'm going to just make a couple of dozen these up over next weekend and get prepped for the winter. My favourite rig. The bite's there straight away from there. That's to my main line, and the fish pulls. It's engaging. Whereas with a pulley, you've got 3 foot of movement before that hook engages, and I'm not willing to miss as many bites as I did last year. Like before I went out with Judd, and Judd said, "Gear, sell a shake, man. Get a proper rig on." So I did, and that's what I'm going to stick with this year. What I'll do is I'll get this rig changed up and put the one on that I was telling you about. The Old Faithful. That's 3 bites I've missed. And now I'm going back to the rig I was just telling you about. Let's see if it makes a difference. The proof is always in the pudding, isn't it? The Old Faithful. Never failed as this. I'm sure it has. I'm sure I'm exaggerating, but just trying to give myself a confidence booster. Bit morale. I lost that weight close in, actually. Didn't want to go far out at all. That hole's only about 40 yards out, according to me mate. I've got my bloody line caught in my heat lamp. Oh dear me. Just be my luck, I'll hook in now. What a carry on, man. That's it, it's off. Like Frank Spencer Gans fishing. Right, we're in that hole. Back in action. It's a really pleasant night. I think low water's around midnight, something like that. Craig has checked the tides, so the due diligence is done about getting on and off the mark. Had I been by myself, I would have absolutely categorically known, but to the minute, what time low water was. Because you've got to be very careful of any backfilling areas, especially if you're fishing in an area you haven't fished before. It's always important to go there through the day and find out, have a look at your route in and out. Safety first, because these marks, especially up here in Northumberland, there's a lot of marks which backfill. If you are going to visit Northumberland, which I'm sure a lot of you are over the winter fishing for the cod, do it safely. If I know the mark, I'm more than happy to help you. All you've got to do is drop us an email, tell us where you're going, and if I don't know it, I'll pass you on to somebody that does know it. I'm sure I know a lot of people in Northumberland that go fishing. If I can get you the help, I will. Of course I will. Tell me the mark and I'll see if I know it. Have a look on Google Earth as well. Google Earth's a really useful tool. You can find sort of routes to places, but that doesn't tell you where the tide backfills. So do all them due diligence checks, the Google Earth. Have a look at it during the daytime if you can. Speak to a local, try and find out a bit more about the mark, how safe it is, what sort of sea you don't want to be fishing in, what sort of sea is best to fish it in. You know, is it a neap tide mark? Is it a low water mark? Is it a high water? Just all different factors. Keep an eye on the wind, because you know the wind can change. All of a sudden that sea can get up, and if you're on a mark you can be in bother. You know, you might think you're high up at the time. By the time the waves start smashing in, all of a sudden you're up shit creek without a paddle. You know, so just be very safe when you're fishing marks in the dark. I certainly don't take any risks. I never have. I wouldn't fish rock edges in deepest, darkest Northumberland by myself, unless it's on my doorstep, which is southeast Northumberland. But up in north in Northumberland, there's some hellish marks, but you really need to do your research first. Don't just think, oh, that looks great, I'm going to go on it. Do some homework. If I can help you, I will. If I can't help you, I'll just say, look, I know nothing about the mark and none of my friends do. I'll be honest with you. That fish is back. Surely that's on. Oh, it's not. I can't believe it. Thought it had to be on. It's still biting. What's going on? There must be something little on. Hi, I thought. What a bang that gave, by the way. That was surely not the same fish. There we go. Well, I'm off the blank anyway. Nice coley. Fair size. Not massive. But hey, what was I saying about the rigs? Look what just happened. I've swapped rigs straight to this, and I've hooked into a fish. I can only show you what's happening. Get them unhooked. Get the new bait. I haven't had a chance to get a new bait out. Good old trusty three-way swivel. Latched in, done. I'll throw him back. He's ready to go here straight away. No problem. Coley's tough as old boots, aren't they? Oh, and get this on the camera. Come this way. What is it?
It's a rocklet.
A rocklet. Hold it up. Up higher. Look. There you are. You see that? Hey, I tell you, it's not a bad one. I love feeling them.
Snotty.
Does that does that ring warning bells? What? Is that a crab in its mouth?
Yep.
I tell you what.
Didn't put it on.
For?
Didn't put it on.
Perfect.
No, didn't put it on.
Wait, if that's eating it.
Ah, wait. Well, you can try and put it on.
It's a little softy. Nah, we'll not bother. I wish. This is going to take some winding in. The wading out I done to chuck it. Come on. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh.
I don't think I've lost it.
Was it weed? Oh, come on quick. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is totally untouched. And that'll bring the evening to a close. It was a short session. I enjoyed it, enjoyed the company.
You bastard!
What you got? Is that a cod? Oh, he's got a cod. Might not be the last cast.
Yeah. I'm still in the lead!
He's pulled in a cod. I didn't even think. I thought he was winding us up. Get that on here.
Slack liner.
Well done, mate. Done, yeah. There you go. I'm just blocking it so they can see it. There you go. Easy as that, eh? Well, what do I do? Oh. I don't know. I'm stuck between two minds. I'm just saying this to the camera, like, I'm not sure if he's just saying, are you sure you're going home? What bait was that on? Ragworm. Got any ragworm? Aye, I'll wrap it up, I think. I want to get back. I want to be up early, get the dogs out in the morning, down to the beach or the woods, either or, and spend a bit of time with my daughter. So I don't want to be lying in bed till after clock. It's, what time's it now? Yeah, it's gone 11. I've got to drive home, get back in the car, drive home. So, aye, I'll wrap it up. So, thanks, Craig. Do you want to pop in here for a second? Thanks very much for the invite. Thank you.
You're
much
welcome.
appreciated.
Anytime.
So tell me about your group. How many's in it?
There's about 8 to 10 lads in the group. We normally all fish together, but other lads got stuff on. There's a couple of lads along the south end here, so
But it's a good group. I often watch the posts on their Facebook page and see plenty of fish coming in, eh?
Oh,
I think the conditions are against for the night though, eh?
oh, definitely. Mate, that fish absolutely slack-lined us.
See, it happens. I mean, there's fish that he did say, he said, just because it's flat, don't let that put you off. But obviously, like any cod fishing, the bigger the sea, generally the better. Manageable sea anyway. So I appreciate the invite, and I'm sure I'll do it again. And he says I'm always welcome, so this might be a regular thing. And we're just trying to organise maybe as a Christmas or New Year special, aren't we?
Aye, definitely, aye.
So
Definitely.
we'll bear that in mind. Keep looking out for when I join these lads, and hopefully you'll get see more fish anyway, because they're always pulling something in. So I'll keep up with the Jones and maybe join you next time.
I know, pal.
Thanks very much, mate. Much appreciated.
I'll get
Top
this line
man.
out anyhow, pal.
Right.
See if I can pull another one in.
Aye, go on, get them in. There we go. That's what fishing's all about, isn't it? So I'll see you next time. Thanks very much for joining us. Take care. All the best. Huh?